roof of our studio right now. The rain moving in, making for a dreary day ahead tomorrow.
I know. We got a bit of a dreary day tomorrow and on Friday, but we do have a fun science-y fact to talk about first. Very exciting. So our neighbors over in New Hampshire experienced an earthquake earlier today, so I wanted to talk about that briefly. I got the information from my friend over at WMUR, Matt Honig. He's a meteorologist who also went to Penn State, and he talked about an earthquake that was just north of Laconia earlier this evening at 8:56 p.m. It was a magnitude 2.2 and just about 3.5 miles deep. And people said that they did hear it or feel it, and a lot of people actually thought it was thunder because we don't often have magnitude earthquakes where we can feel here in New England, but they do occur fairly often. They're just usually so small that we don't actually notice them. So a fun little sciencey fact to start off the forecast, because unfortunately I'm going to be the bearer of bad news if you have outdoor plans coming up in the next few days, because we have a lot more rain to talk about thanks to a stationary front. So at this point we've transitioned into some heavier rain, especially going through the Bangor area and back through Augusta, and that's really going to continue as we go through overnight. Now this model right now is doing a pretty good job of picking up exactly where that rainfall is, so that means once we get to early tomorrow morning, that's where we have some more of that heavier rain moving in, especially closer to the coast, which is going to kind of bear the brunt of this rain because that's just off of where the stationary front is located. So by tomorrow at 9 a.m., definitely a wet morning commute for almost all of us, maybe with the exception of northern Aroostook County. Continuing throughout much of the day, I do think there's the potential for this rain to be a little bit farther inland here, so I don't want to cut the mountains out of here. I think they're going to get some rain here too, but definitely the most of that rain is going to be right along the coastline. As we get later into the day, the heaviest rain is going to move through down East Maine. So this is Thursday at 8 p.m. and will be cool enough right on the back end of this system for a little bit of snow and mixed precipitation, but mostly seeing rain from this storm. We can see that here. Once we get to Friday, though, we end up with a bit of a split state forecast. So the western Maine and back into New Hampshire will be able to clear out earlier in the day and allow for some more dry weather, though still the cloud cover is going to be hanging around. However, in eastern and northern Maine, we're still going to have that precipitation hang around for much of the day on Friday, along with some of that mixed precipitation on the back end where temperatures are in the mid-30s. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, though we do clear out pretty nicely as we get into the weekend. However, both Friday and Saturday are going to be on the breezy side, so Sunday looks to be the pick for the weekend, which is good because it works out for Easter plans. So most of the rain, like I said, is going to be concentrated towards the coast, about 1.5 to 2 inches, with the exception of far eastern Maine, especially eastern Washington County. It's going to see the most rain with this system, with the possibility of up to 3.5 inches. So we are watching some flooding concerns there. National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for all of coastal Maine, but especially for down East Maine and Washington and Hancock counties, because that's where we're expecting to see the most rain. So just keep an eye out for some small stream flooding in those areas as we go throughout the weekend. So the marine forecast, this small craft advisory is going to expire tomorrow morning because we're going to go down to 3 to 5 feet seas and water 40 degrees. So once we start getting into the weekend, our forecast is gradually going to improve. So rain throughout the day tomorrow, rain for eastern Maine throughout the day Friday, and then Saturday we start to clear things out a little bit, but still going to be rather breezy. So Zach, I think the better of the 2 weekend days is going to be on Sunday, but until then we're going to keep those umbrellas handy.
Yeah, just get through the end of the week.
We got it.
Thanks so much.